Have you ever thrown your trash on the ground before? If you have littered, and it is very dangerous to the environment and the animals living in it. You would think that when you throw your trash on the ground, it will just go away. It doesn't. There are 24 different currents in all the 5 major gyres, which are large circular patterns of ocean movement, and that's just 5 near the U.S. The trash gets pulled into the current and moved into circles and passed on for years. The Ocean Surface Current Simulator recorded the movement of the drifting objects released from the Pacific coast of North America and Asia. After 3 years, the drifters are moving constant with currents that make up the North Pacific subtropical gyre. After 10 years, the drifters have begun to collect in 2 specific areas of the gyre. The cycle never seems to end unless we stop littering our trash into the environment and near the oceans. I am outraged by how our litter affects the ocean and its animals. We have carried our garbage into the ocean. It is bad enough that we already litter the land, but now our litter is moving to the ocean, and we are killing the marine animals. God created our environment for us to love and care for it, but instead we are doing the opposite. Our littering affects everyone and everything. It is now believed that there are 5.25 trillion pieces of plastic debris in the ocean. Of that mass, 269,000 tons float on the surface, while some 4 billion plastic microfibers litter the deep sea. Also, 100,000 marine creatures a year die from eating and becoming entangled in plastic bags, and many more not found. Approximately 1 million seabirds also die from the littered plastics on the beach. Captain Charles Moore and his team found a dead bird with 59 pieces of plastic in its stomach on a remote island in the Pacific Ocean. Our litter is killing marine animals that help our environment that we need in our everyday lives. When we litter, it kills our environment. The Catholic Church's views on littering is very clear. They do not accept it. God centered our lives around the environment and told us to take care of our earth and everything around us. God created the earth before us. He accepted us to take care of what we needed to survive. The Bible verse in Genesis 1:26, God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over the livestock, and over all of the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." He gave us access to the earth, but did not order us to misuse it or trash it. We have destroyed many areas of the planet to suit our own needs and have not cared for the animals living in it. Our dignity of a human person is rooted in our creation in the image of likeness of God, and God won't destroy what He made and has cared for. Littering is violating the natural law. We have to be in right relationship with God, other people, the world, and ourselves. By littering our oceans, we are not in the right relationship with the world. The new law, or also known as the law of love, is being violated because we are not loving our oceans. Instead, we are killing it and everything inside. God and His apostles taught us to take care of the earth. This topic also goes against civil law. Littering doesn't only affect the place you're in, but everywhere. It moves with the earth and spreads to the seas. It kills animals along the way and ends up washed up on shores across the world. An example is when Dr. Kurt Ebsmayer found that on May 27, 1990, a cargo ship called Hansa Carrier got caught in a storm in the northern Pacific Ocean carrying goods from Korea to the U.S. It arrived at U.S. docks safely, but 21 of the cargo containers on its deck had fallen into the ocean by the storm. Most were filled with Nike shoes, and they floated across the ocean for years. 3 years later, Kurt started hearing about sneakers washing up on beaches around the world. Many beaches were littered with Nike shoes, and they filled the beaches. Littering is a sinful act that is an example of social sin. Littering just becomes a normal thing for humans after doing it for so long, and it isn't seen as a sin anymore. It is a venial sin that people don't think it's that big of a deal to litter, and they don't think it will affect anything when it really hurts our oceans and countries. We are choosing to litter, and we have a full knowledge of what we are doing when we litter. Jesus made the earth for us to flourish and take care of it. He wanted us to fill the land and nurture it. Instead, we are destroying it by littering. He made the sea with fish to eat and other animals to help us, but we are littering their homes and killing what we need. Captain Moore has once said on his journey through the Pacific, "I began to notice that the smooth, painted ocean seems to be how best put it, littered. Here and there, odd bits and flakes speckle the ocean surface. I believe they are mostly made of plastic. The ocean is tainted in our trash, and we are not helping it flourish." Pope Benedict XVI says, The order of creation demands that a priority be given to those human activities that do not cause irreversible damage to nature, but which instead are woven into the social culture and religious fabric of the different communities. In this way, a sober balance is achieved between consumption and the sustainability of resources. He is saying that the people of the earth should not damage it or hurt it in any way we can't fix. Instead, we need to come together as a community and balance our lives with the earth. Littering is a vice everyone has committed at least once. Once it started, it never stopped. Everyone thought it was okay to do because everyone else was doing it, not knowing how it affects our oceans and everything around it. It's a bad habit we cannot break, and we won't try to. We have to show some virtue in our lives and be respectful to what God has given us. What we can do is find a way to stop the plastic before it gets into the ocean. We need to stop using disposable plastic, and an idea from Dr. Ebsmeyer is that at the same time invent new biodegradable materials to meet our plastic needs. We also can pick up any litter we see and always use the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, recycle. One question you might ask is, if you litter away from an ocean, can it still affect it? The answer is yes. The object you litter can be blown from the wind or in a storm to a river that connects to an ocean, or can blow straight into the ocean by the wind. Another question you might think is, can things that float like styrofoam cups and napkins still be harmful to the animals under the water? The answer is yes. The litter can be taken down by an animal on the surface, or it can soon sink to the bottom of the ocean where any aquatic animal can eat it. Another question you may think is, won't using less plastic help take care of the litter getting into the ocean? The answer is yes, but not everyone can stop using plastic. It is commonly used in everyday life, and if we do get rid of plastic, people will shift into using something else that can affect the ocean in the same way. Another question you may think of is, how can plastic and other litter be kept away from the ocean? The answer is you can recycle the object or reuse the plastic multiple times. Also, don't litter near the beach or away from the beaches. Another question is, how are marine animals affected by the litter? All marine life can choke on litter, and it will keep happening because it won't dissolve in some time. Plastic from pop holders can wrap itself around birds' necks, and cut fishing nets can trap turtles. And those are just a few ways that animals can die from our litter. Another question you may think of is, how are humans affected by the marine litter? The answer is, debris from the ocean can get caught in boat motors and cause boats to malfunction. They also harm the animals we eat and need for food. It also pollutes our fresh water. Another question is, how can we clean the ocean from its litter? If you see any type of object that can harm ocean life, pick it up. Also, if you see debris on the beach, throw it out. Also, boats can go and scoop up the litter they can deeper in the ocean. Another common question is, how does the litter stay in the oceans for long? The answer is, massive quantities of water constantly circulate in the swirling vortex of ocean currents known as Gears, which extends for many miles and are driven by light winds. You may think, can plastic ever dissolve or go away? The answer is, plastic is like an invasive species. Once established, it doesn't go away. It accumulates. Its presence on Earth grows by 300 million tons each year. Big pieces break down into smaller, more ingestible pieces, so it can never go completely away. One other question you may ask is, how do scientists find out where all the trash goes in the ocean and its patterns? The answer is, throughout the century, oceanographers have used drifting objects to study the movement of the ocean. A scientist would drop hundreds of floating objects, for example, sealed glass bottles, into the sea at a given location. Each bottle included a letter inside containing the scientist's name, address, and phone number. The hope was that anyone finding a bottle would read this note inside, contact the scientist, and describe the final location of the bottle. Scientists began the long process of identifying patterns of movement in the world ocean. All of these facts may seem overwhelming, but they are true. We are hurting our world's ocean, and we do it every day, and we have been doing it for years. Now that you know this information, I hope you will try to help the environment more and not litter.